Hello and welcome back to Let's Play Lords of the Fallen, with me, Bring It On. So it seems like I finally fixed the darkness issue with this game. Initially I thought it was a problem with the game itself, since it's the only game that's impacted by it. It turns out something was going on with OBS. And so if you're having a similar problem, the way I fixed it was just swapping between capture methods. So normally for recording games I use game capture. Though some games don't work with game capture, so I occasionally have to use window or display capture. So all I did was swap from game capture to window capture and it fixed it. Then I was curious, so I swapped back to game capture and it fixed it. So I guess it just needed a little reset. Unfortunately, it took me a while to even realize that there was a problem, and then it took me a little while to figure it out. So it's a handful of episodes that'll be really dark. That's partially my fault. Also, it changed for no reason. I didn't change any settings in OBS or the game. I'm not sure why that interaction even popped up. But before I record any episode, I do a little snippet recording where I check the audio and visuals. But unfortunately, it's a very short snippet, and so I didn't leave the light of the red checkpoints, and so it made the video look relatively normal. But it should be all fixed now. Well, let's battle our way through. I don't think there's any way I can use the hammer against these guys, unfortunately, so... use this instead. The hammer just attacks too slow and I don't have the poise to tank through their attacks. Aw, man. So we should have one more thing to collect in the planetarium. There was that locked chest. Also, I feel like there was a thought I was vocalizing earlier and I left it half finished.
He's lost his mind. All is lost.
I'm here to fix it. Oh, sorry. Need to interrupt. Oh, one of his soldiers is freaking out too.
traitor is here.
Nowhere to run. Back up a bit. Oh, well, there's the chest key. I have another key. I don't know if I used it yet. Northern Monastery wing chest key? I thought the chest keys got consumed when you used them. But maybe not. Now before we reach Antanas, I will say that he is the most difficult boss fight in the game, at least as far as I remember.
My visions were right. Harkyn is a man of pride. He would defy God. He would restore balance. I saw him thrown into a pit, punishment for unspeakable crimes. Yet, I trusted the visions and set him free. I'm glad Providence has led me to the end of this very path.
Alright, I picked up the note before Harkyn said his piece, but... I think maybe Harkyn should have started talking sooner. I would have started our beeline for the note. Music is a little 50s sci-fi. Sounds like we're more likely to get abducted by aliens than fight demonic boss. Oh, sorry, spoilers. Guard sword? How exciting. Guards who swore their lives to protect Antanas trusted everything in perfectly crafted weapons. The sword feels almost too easy to handle compared to the Great Hammer, which I really wish was a little bit more viable, but all the attacks are just way too painstakingly slow. You can't get an attack off and punish an enemy for a mistake before they can retaliate and punish you for trying to punish their mistake. I feel like I should run back and restock with potions, because I don't think there's another save point before Antanas. Like I mentioned before, not an easy fight.
He's lost his mind.
Is this guy still on my team? Or at least neutral, if not directly working for me. So I may have had a little bit more experience than where I left off last time because I was doing some troubleshooting and killing enemies while I did it. Oh, so the New Dawn just gives you more health. But not... You can't see it here. It gives you more health that you can't... So I have that little bit that I can't repair by activating this. So it's more health than you see here. And the only way to refill it is with a potion. Maybe with prayer as well, but I think for the sake of where we're going, mana regen is going to be more important. So. Oh. I don't know. Oh, wow. Strength requirement of 34. Should I not fight Antanas and grind it out? Fighting for peace is like screaming for silence. The size and weight of this sword shows the absurdity and some of the common human beliefs. I mean, that has to be the strongest weapon we found, right? The strength requirement. Because that's usually how it works. The higher the strength requirement, better the weapon. At least I have had trouble with the Antanas fight in the past. But with this build, we might be okay.
He's lost his mind.
Because there's a time limit section. And if you don't kill all the ads that Antanas spawns, he heals. So, but we have Quake this time. And so should have the means. Oh, there is one right here. Okay, we can top off our potions. Oh, and this.
Greetings to you in the moment of eternity, traveler. Is there anything I can do for you?
Yeah, let's do some crafting. Need to take one out of... I might go with the poison here. I'm gonna take that out. No, let's do this instead. Alright, let's do it. Oh, that hit me. Okay. I do like the design of his little javelin arm. It has a bunch of arms sticking out of it that throw the javelins. Definitely thought I was out of range of that. My bad. To me, it didn't look like the shockwave even hit me. Wait, what? Oh. Yeah, at least you can start right here. Really? Okay. I think I remember why I struggled with this. I should probably put my shield up. And block instead. Because that doesn't seem right. Wow. Okay. So you have to roll backwards. Well, you have to back up and then roll backwards. Otherwise, you don't have enough time. I'm gonna have to use prayer here. Maybe not right now. So he jumps up there. We need to take care of these guys before he heal off of them. And before we get blown up by him. Not sure what he was swinging at there, because I wasn't anywhere near him. Oh yeah, permanent health damage. Great. Time to get some free damage in on him right there. That could have killed me. Okay, not too shabby. Symbolism. So that happens regardless of whether or not you use Adyr's rune, which I feel like the hand should only move if you use Adyr's
And
rune.
so Harkyn defied a god. He cast the rune aside and struck Antanas down using only his sword. And in the end, he cast that rune aside, restoring the forces of the world back into balance. Harkyn found the balance even between the power of his sword and magic, using both means to defeat all manner of Rogar lords and man-made creatures. Despite the markings on his face, he proved himself to be a compassionate man who showed mercy to the just and unjust alike. Once he realized there was incredible knowledge gathered in the planetarium, Harkyn became eager to learn the secrets of this world. He could not stand idly by while Antanas conducted his dark experiments on the beasts. Thanks to Harkyn, Yetka was able to reunite with her family. The crafter's crystal was returned to him. He went back to his dimension travels and studying the runes. Harkyn sealed the fate of both realms for many years to come. Historians of the future will forever wonder what the world could have been if Harkyn's choices had been different.
So some parts of the epilogue were determined by what side quests you did. So like the planetarium bit was where we restored, or gave Antanas a piece of the planetarium back to him so he could restore it. Little things like that, but yeah, that's Lords of the Fallen, 2014. Still enjoy the game. It definitely has its quirks. There's a few problems. Hitboxes and the Great Hammer not being a very viable weapon. But overall, I enjoy the game. I think the aesthetic, especially for a Souls-like, is second to none. Soundtrack, I think, is fairly forgettable, except for towards the end, when you return to the Citadel and have to fight all the human enemies. I think it's a little silly. I guess it partially makes sense that the human enemies are so powerful because that small contingent was able to hold off the Rogar forces. So they're the best of the best. Another problem with the game is the half protagonist that you get. He doesn't really have a lot going for him, but they have him voiced. So it's like they wanted to create a protagonist with a narrative, but they just kind of halfway did it. But again, I think the armor, weapon design are all fantastic. Some of the descriptions can be a little lackluster, so you don't really know what something does until you equip it. Especially like the rings or artifacts, trinkets. Overall, I think the game's fairly easy for a Souls-like as well. I had trouble with a couple of the bosses, of course, particularly the DLC boss. But up until that point, I don't think I died to a boss. It wasn't until the Guardian, which was the Guardian and the Annihilator, both of which were embarrassing because I find them to be a couple of the easier boss fights, actually, except for like the very first one. But really cool things incorporated into the game, like each boss having a secret defeat mechanic, well, not mechanic, defeat criteria to get the best version of their weapon. But you're also not punished for not knowing that, because you still get their weapon, it's just not the legendary version of it. The game does reward New Game Plus players as well. There's more notes you can find. The notes that you found in your first playthrough do not carry over. So anything you find is something you didn't find in the first playthrough. I don't know if you refine weapons and armor, I don't recall. But there's at least one new set you can find in a New Game Plus playthrough. I don't know if there's one for each armor type, light, medium, and heavy, but there's definitely one for... There's at least one of them. I don't remember what armor type it was. But also, I really enjoy some of the sound design of the game. I think the crackling fire sound is one of the best I've heard in a game. And the footsteps and stuff, like a lot of little ambient sounds are really well done. I also like the slower gameplay of this game, because you're wearing this extremely heavy armor and wielding these extremely large weapons, so it makes sense. Outside of the Great Hammer, because that was tough to use, which is a shame because I absolutely love hammers, especially big two-handed hammers. But overall, I think it's a pretty solid game. I've enjoyed my time with it. This is my third full playthrough, maybe fourth. They did New Game Plus at one point. So that's going to do it for this Let's Play. Thanks for joining me on another adventure. I hope to see you guys in the next one.